Our next couple of speakers will be brief, but obviously very, very current to what we're talking about today. RicPerreault is from Rochester. Rick and his spouse have over 45 years building up and developing a RV, a company that sells brokers and functions as refrigeration specialists. He and his wife have owned a home on Alton Bay for the past 10 years, and I'm told that this was the dream of their lifetime. And we're very pleased to have them as residents of, if you will, of Alton, at least for about 6 or 7 months out of the year. He's very involved in many of the community projects within Rochester, including workforce housing, the initiative, and he regularly attends, at least in my view, regularly attends a lot of the board meetings here in Alton. So he's an active landowner here, and he's an active person who really and truly wants to make sure that his investment in Alton is worthy of him and you. Thank you. Rick?
Listen, y'all had an opportunity to listen to Ken, and I gotta tell you, I appreciate him a whole bunch. What you got is information that you can take home and do an evaluation on and everything. I think what they bring me up for is probably to show you anybody can do this kind of thing. Okay, quite frankly, I'm not nervous. Been having an opportunity to speak around the country on different things. Primarily, I'm a Christian, and I love my wife. I'm always introduce myself. I'm RicPerreault, the happy husband of Mona Perreault. It's probably because she let me get up here after burning the candle at for 20 years at both ends. We're able to buy a home about 10 years ago on the lake. I get to enjoy that a whole bunch, and I love you all for letting me come, all right? And I didn't want to get to the end of my life and find out I had half a candle left. So I wasn't afraid to burn it. But, you know, I'm a businessman in Rochester. Again, proof that probably anybody can be in business. Today, I think you got to be fearless. I probably qualify for that. Okay, but candidly, I wanted to, when asked, I said, okay, workforce housing. You know, what is that? I don't, you know what I mean? I heard about it. So I checked it out, and I thought when I already know about the land use issue. I'm already up to speed pretty good about the Grand Estate Futures. We got the city of Rochester to actually not sign on to that. I was at the Stratford County Regional Planning, y'all in Belknap County here, and I got a chance to go to Lakes Region Planning Commissions. Let me tell you, what he told you is what exactly is going on. Okay, and even if the community of Rochester who doesn't sign on, the city, pretty big city, the Regional Planning Commission, Stratford County and Lakes Region will tell you they're still going to implement what they want in the county if you don't sign up. And you know, Representative Coleman is shaking her head up and down because that's exactly the truth. It does not matter, and I'll tell you, every single one of those 9 regional planning commissions have a budget of about $800,000 to $900,000 each. You got 9 times 900. I'm not good at math. Call it 100. That's $900,000 to implement what we just heard Ken talk about, but in reality, what happened in Rochester. Let me tell you this, what happened in Rochester, I'll just give you one. They call it Lynn Scott Apartments. It's an old Encore shoe, I think it was the name of it, shoe factory. And if you go in Rochester, you know, you're going into town, you'll go by it possibly, you know, it's by the bank and, you know, Studley Florist across from there. And you know what, the building looks great. I gotta tell you why. There's 58 apartments in there. It cost $10.5 million to do that project. And that was going to be, per se, we needed it in Rochester. I'm at the meetings, heard them say workforce housing. God bless them. You got $10.5 million divided by 85 units. They spent, on average, $181,000 per unit. Now, originally for the workforce housing, the idea, and Representative Cormier talked about it, you know, raise up the buildings, put like, a shopping mall underneath, you know, and have the community have things in there. Well, let me tell you, that was the plan approved, but all of a sudden when it comes out, they don't have any of that because they probably have to rent it out to some business person like me and pray that they get the money, you know, in the rent. But let me tell you what happened with this program. Okay, and you may have been recognized this in Alton. You know how they have a residential retirement community? Then all of a sudden it ain't retirement community anymore, but anybody could live there and probably somebody else help paying the rent. Guess who's somebody else paying the rent? You are. Okay, I don't know how to talk about anything else. Don't tell me about a grant, tell me about taxpayer money. Don't tell me about, what is that, stimulus money? Let me tell you what. When the Granite State Future Program came out, they got to get this extra 3 million, is it? I'm not sure. Call it 1 million. I don't care if you call it whatever it is. What it was really, when that 3 million comes, it already been through the government filter. I'm not saying it was 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, 8 million, 10 million before it got down to the lickwog over here at 3 million. Like I said, they brought me in to entertain you. You know what I'm saying? Rubber meets the road or something, you know. Really, I'm not the expert, but I'm going to tell you what. Here's what happened today. They got a waiting list in Rochester to go live there because they got the rate down here and you got subsidized housing. Somebody else has helped paying that person rent. Let me tell you, here's the problem. I've got a guy that I know very well. He's a state rep in town. And I got to tell you, I have another one that I pray that Sue DeLamus gets to be my rep. I'm in the city. Whenever you go in Concord and you run into a rep like Representative Comia, I mean, I give mine a hug, you know what I mean? Sue and I are very close, and Jerry and Mona and I are personal friends. But I have to tell you, when I was in Rock, I heard her at a hearing that I was at, and it was about voter fraud. Now, I know we're going off target here a little bit. But I'm going to tell you what, for the very first time that I was ever in Concord, I felt as though I had representation. I'm going to tell you this, okay, I vote in Rochester, I maybe spend half my time here, but candidly, that gal right there, I'm real proud that she represents this community. Okay, but you know what it is really, what this is? I can't not sing, and I cannot hit 300 baseball. That's why I had to go into selling business. That's how I got my lake house. Anyway, okay, here we go. Now, here's the problem. We have a guy, landlord in town, that through this workforce housing, and let me tell you this, in Rochester, because that's what they asked me to speak about. I can't tell you how many, but I'm going to talk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different projects in our town. 625 rental units of this stuff that I'm talking about that are available in the town. It's probably, you know, elderly, but all of a sudden isn't elderly anymore. Okay, maybe some family, you know, 204 of those. And I know when they came up here, I gotta tell you, I'm sitting here last week and they tell me, oh no, this is coming from the state. They don't know nothing, they didn't know nothing about Westchester County. I'm telling you, when you send your planner to all those things and he goes to a seminar, listen, I've been to a lot of seminars, okay? You gotta teach me, you know, I mean, I wouldn't have made it in business if you didn't try to teach me something. They're gonna feed them during the day, we're paying them a day's wage, we get them over there. You know what they're talking about? Westchester County. And how to make sure when they come here to fluff it off, oh no, it ain't that, don't worry, oh no, it's for the community, But really, they don't want to tell you, all of them guys are in hoops together. Now, what do they call that thing when it gets on the ballot? You know, you have to help me with this. Warrant article. Can I tell you what? I suggest you all get a warrant article, get rid of your planner. They have a planning board. They have a zoning board. Candidly, I've been in this town and I've been to those meetings, and I tell you what, those people volunteer, and I think they have a vested interest in your town. One thing I will watch you for, if you're on the planning board and zoning board and they're all in the construction business, let me tell you what happens on this Lynn Court apartment. Of this one amount of money that I told you, $10 million of the cost or whatever, am I accurate in that? $10 million to build that thing, they got probably 100% financing from somebody. Now, the guys that own this, and they call them stakeholders. Remember last week they had a stakeholder? I'm thinking, what's that? Steak, you know what I mean? Steak you eat, steak you put in the ground. That's the people who are gonna benefit from these projects. And I gotta tell you what happens. That thing was, now, those stakeholders don't go there, and they actually turn running over to the Rochester Housing Authority, which is run by the federal government, which is again being paid. Remember what I said? The filter comes through because that guy's gonna send his kids to college, and I gotta go to there. All I did was raise my kids to 18 years old, they're gonna go to college, they're gonna pay themselves. I got 4 that went. Okay, thank God, and those are my college educations. There's my other one, my wife has 2 degrees. Okay, I didn't go, I didn't wanna go. Because remember what I said? I'm going to sing and play baseball, but if I was out selling, I'd make more money. Okay, what I'm sharing with you is, their stakeholders don't even run that thing. Now we turn it over to federal government to run it. I'm going to tell you this now, I heard here, we got 2 acres, rural zoning, we already qualify for this. Ken said to you, doesn't matter what the results are gonna be, because they're gonna put it into, remember he said, oh, it ain't regional. I gotta tell you, I don't know if we qualify in Belknap County here to Laconia, but probably Laconia has a few housing available, you know, affordable housing too. I'll tell you what, my house is not a $5 million house on the lake. I call it affordable housing, you know what I mean? I could afford it, it took me 20 years to get it, you know what I'm saying? But candidly, what would truthfully, you have an opportunity here, and I have to tell you, I am wonderfully blessed to be in this town with you, because I saw you do something on Common Core, I saw you do this. You all can make a difference. I love you because of it. I don't know what talk about hokey. I'll tell you what, come into Rochester and see how hokey. I'll tell you what, we just got rid of our planner, we just got rid of the planning department guy, and I'll tell you what, we're getting control of the city again. And I'll tell you what, really, I said to him the other day, anytime you're gonna take government money, it ain't free. Representative Cormier told you that. You all know that. Because I'll tell you what, I go down there and I pay my tax bill, anybody can check on it, it's current. You know what I'm saying? I ain't waiting to get it paid or anything like that. I don't come in early with it, you know what I mean? I don't want to have it early. You know, I get in there a couple days before it's due, but quite frankly, and Rona asked me today, you got the tax money for this winter? I said, oh, honey, we got it, baby, we're on it. You know what I mean? Things are popping, but, and they have to be. You know what I'm saying? With Steve, you know what Steve, the landlord, told me? Waiting to get into that Lynn Scott apartment, all of a sudden, his apartments now don't rent for the same amount, or he can't get them filled. And if that's the case, then he cannot maintain his properties or improve his properties. You follow what I'm saying? I gotta tell you, they had a neighborhood stabilization program. My wife's trying to follow me, and she was all the meetings with me, right? She's looking at me, what the hell is he talking about? I'm like, oh. But you know what, we're happily married, right? Okay, now, what I'm saying is, they had this thing, I'm telling you, they come into this town, they both buy 3 houses. The company, I call it the Portsmouth Fleecing Company. I really don't know the company that really, and our planner had something to do with them, understand. They got 30% of the electric bill as profit on that project. Every single thing, every single dollar went out. That company, the Portsmouth Fleecing Company, took 30%. I'm probably gonna be liable for this, but let me tell you what, I said it in public to them before. I don't remember the name of that company, but I can tell you this, those houses, they had $275,000 on them, they'd sell them for 100. The tax money that came, the taxpayer money came to build those houses under the kind of program like this. Let me tell you this, I just want to share with you. They asked me to speak up about Rochester because I know a little bit about what's going on there. But let me tell you what, I am one proud person to pay taxes in this town because you all are watching. I'm done. God bless you. I answer the
Croc TV.